What is up, everybody? I am here for week two of the Elevation Evaluation. Last week I didn't have the fancy name until after I had filmed it, so I said I didn't have a fancy name to compete with Beth's at Enigma Beth's, my co-host for Dynamite Reviews. I didn't have a clever name to match her dark dive that she does for AEW Dark on Tuesdays, but now I do. It's AEW Elevation Evaluation, and this is week 2 of my evaluation. So, guys, I'm very excited. Let me tell you why I'm excited. So, first, I'm going to talk a little bit about stuff that wasn't on the show. I have to talk about something that BROOKE HAVOK put out today. So I will put a link underneath this in the description if you just want to skip past this and you want to go straight to my Elevation Evaluation review. But this is what I want to say. So on Monday, I woke up, I was getting my gym clothes put together, and I wanted to wear this shirt to the gym. But at the very last minute, I changed my mind. I was like, wait a second. So I actually want to wear this shirt for my Elevation Evaluation. So I put this shirt back on the hanger. I'm glad I did, because BROOKE HAVOK put out a tweet today about this shirt, and I want to read that tweet to you guys. It basically says, "Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do." That's obviously a lyric that Chester Bennington sang in Linkin Park. It says, "Well, I do. Well, starting today, for the next 3 to 6 months," this is her speaking, "for the next 3 to 6 months while she recovers, she will be donating 100% profit of this shirt right here, the Android B182 shirt. It's amazing. To 320 Changes Direction. It is a charity, mostly built around suicide prevention and mental health awareness." So I saw that, and I was like, dang, I just got this shirt last week. So, my money, I wanted to still support the charity, basically. So I reached out to BROOKE HAVOK, and I said, hey, so I already got your shirt, but where do I need to donate $25 cost of the shirt? And so she told me where, and I went and got it, or I went and donated. So $25 I spent for this shirt, and then I also donated $25 as well. So as you guys know, I always post a lot of Chester Bennington stuff. It actually gets a lot of, it gets a lot of interactions every time I post those. So people seem to love it. So I wanted to support him, and it looks like it's a charity ran by 2 different entities, I guess, one being Chester Bennington's wife herself. So very good cause. Please get this shirt. It's a very nice shirt. So like I said, I really wanted to wear this shirt today, and I actually got a chance to wear it. And not only that, but going into today, I knew I was going to wear this shirt tonight before I even saw her tweet. So it's amazing. There's her tweet. Follow her, BROOKE HAVOK, on Twitter. But anyway, that's it. And again, I will talk more about mental health and awareness and the shirt in probably another video later this week, because I do want to talk more about it. But I don't want to bore you guys to death. I'm here for the Elevation Evaluation, and I want to go through AEW Dark Elevation. Another solid week. I was just excited to watch it this week, but a little leery to see how it was going to go. After a solid week 1, I said, okay, how are they going to follow it up with week 2? Well, they followed it up way better than I thought they would. They had what they called a triple main event, which is probably a triple main event based on the people that were, based on the intrigue in these matches, such as Ryo Mizunami versus Layla Hirsch, the recently announced All Elite Layla Hirsch. Ethan Page, very popular wrestler as well, fighting 5, I'll get into that later, and Orange Cassidy going up against Ryan Nemeth in the other of the 3 triple main event. So 10 matches. Last week it was 14, and this week it was 10. Last week's runtime was a little over 2 hours, I believe. This week was 1 hour and a half. This was perfect for me. I remember talking to Beth, my co-host. I remember asking that, I hope this is just like an hour and a half. Because if it goes 2 hours, 2.5 hours every week, I mean, that plus Dark plus Dynamite, I don't want people to get turned off from AEW. And I know they don't have to watch these shows. They can only watch Dynamite if they want. But I want people to have reason to watch these shows. Because like we talked about, if you have a favorite in a company, sometimes you can get really frustrated with not seeing them. Not seeing them in a match at all, it can be very frustrating. You'll say, oh, they're not being used correctly, blah, blah, blah. But with AEW, if you have a favorite, it doesn't matter who it is. If it's Sonny and Joey Janela, a very good tag team, they may not be on Dynamite, but they're on these shows. You get to see your favorites every single week. So match 1, speaking of one of my favorites, she's actually in a match as well tomorrow on Dynamite. It's Ty Conti, that's what they called her, and I knew it. I knew it was Ty Conti, not Tay Conti, because Tainara is how you pronounce her first name. Tainara? Can't even get that right. But it's Ty Conti, and it was versus Raelynn, who I praised and praised and praised last week. Please do not let this be the end of Raelynn. This is 2 weeks in a row. I've been a big fan of her on the indie scene. I met her. She's a very good wrestler. Both of these women are very good in the ring. And for like I said, for all the drama that went on with fans and what they want out of the women's division, this past few months has just shown that they are very deep. And even though Raelynn isn't signed, I mean, they're getting deeper. They just signed Layla Hirsch. I mean, we're getting good matches out of the women, and that's what all you can really hope for. So that match, another solid match. It was very short, just like most of the matches, which is another reason why I like this, because if you don't want to watch a certain match, that's fine. Do what I do. I'm getting ready for work as well for the next day, and I skip right past. Well, I don't skip past the matches, but I just do something else while these matches are going on. They're usually between 5 to 7 minutes. So that match was 4 minutes, and of course, Ty Conti got the victory with -1 again, and I think all of us love seeing -1 out there with Ty Conti. But he got caught slipping at the end there. He got caught slipping. She did a little dance while holding his hand at the end, and he got caught staring. We've all been there, right? We've all been there. It just happens. So poor -1. He's 9 years old. Give him a break. I've seen some people ragging on him on Twitter. Come on. Ty Conti is an amazing wrestler, but yes, she's also gorgeous. And obviously so is Raelynn. So another very good women's match. Very short, but keeping them short like that, you get more quick bursts. Matches that are quick, but they're exciting because they're heavy hitting. They're not just slow and methodical and stuff like that. They're quick matches. They're full of moves. They're full of physicality. I mean, it's not a break in any of these matches. Moving on to the very next match. Speaking of guys that I like that you may not see on Dynamite every week, but you see your favorites on one of these shows every week, Lee Johnson. He is one of my favorites. Again, was very hyped to see him last week in a vignette, but this week I got to see him in a match, and I didn't know that going in that he was going to have a match, so I was very excited. Trust me, I was very excited. I popped. I stood up, and I said, yeah, when I saw him. Yes, I did that. I don't just make that up. It didn't sound that dumb, but I did get up and was like, yes, yeah, when Lee Johnson came out, because I was surprised to see him. I didn't see him announced for a match until he came out. So little Adam Priest, though, got a lot of licks in. Adam Priest, one thing, like I said, what I really like about these shows is that these, what in other companies might call jobbers, you don't get jobbers in AEW and Dark and all that in Elevation. You get shows like, you get matches where people showcase their abilities even if they're going to lose. Even if you 100% know it's a signed wrestler versus an unsigned talent, this person is 100% going to look good because this is kind of like their developmental. But unlike other companies' developmentals, they don't have contracts yet. So this is a place for them to showcase themselves and their talents. And Adam Priest did very good against Lee Johnson. But of course, Lee Johnson, my boy, with the victory. Moving on, it was the Varsity Blondes and versus Fuego del Sol and Jack St. Patrick. First time I'd seen Jake St. Patrick. I thought he did very well. Again, it was a quick burst match. It was 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Varsity Blondes, very, very good. Very, very underrated. They look the part. They look like Varsity Blondes. They look like their gimmick. Everything about them looks cool. They look cool. They are really good wrestlers. Really like to see them. And of course, Fuego has a big following on Sammy's vlog, and now he's even on BTE every now and then. But another solid match. You got to see the best from each person in that match. Griff, Pillman, even St. Patrick, and Fuego, of course. Very good. Next, it was my boy Max Caster. When are you guys going to give my boy Max Caster some love? When any other heel does something heelish, we praise that person. Oh, he's so good, he's so great. But yet when Max Caster comes out, we want to say that what he says is in bad taste sometimes. Or it's just, I just can't stand Max Caster. Well, come on. This is my boy. Every time he comes out, I am more and more of a fan. Yes, it sucks that his partner is hurt right now. But his partner won't be gone for too long. But Max Caster isn't just sitting on the sidelines, just like we've seen with the Top Flight. We've seen the one brother that's fine right now. He gets to be in matches and showcase himself. He doesn't sit back when one of the tag team partners is hurt. And that's another reason why I like these shows. And I can talk all day about how good these shows are for the company and for the fans of the wrestlers that are on these shows. So again, Max Caster came out and he defeated Ryzen. Ryzen, we've seen him in backstage segments quite a bit lately on BTE. Stuff like that. I like his ring gear. I like his look, but he wasn't winning that match. Not against my boy Max Caster. Max Caster with the victory, just like he said he was going to get when he came out with his little diss track. And I love his diss tracks. Over and over, I will praise him until the day he's done doing diss tracks. Moving on. We had a tag team match, Big Swole versus the very hot Red Velvet, and I'm talking Red Velvet as in very hot commodity in that company. Yes, she's gorgeous too, but very hot as far as like her stock is rising. So of course she wasn't going to lose, even though Leva Bates, or as I like how Kip Sabian calls her, Lever Bates, and Maddie, who's actually had a pretty decent showing, I guess, on Dark lately. But nope, Big Swole and Red Velvet got the victory there. Moving on, it was another tag match, very, very quick tag match, 3 minutes and 36 seconds. We got to see again 2 weeks in a row. We got to see Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs, again, 2 West Coast wrestlers that I have seen who are actually really good. You know, they've been in short matches so far, but maybe we'll see a little bit more of them. They have tagged before. They aren't just 2 people that they put together. They've tagged before here on the West Coast. But of course, this time with Team Taz, it wasn't Brian Cage and Starks. It was Powerhouse Hobbs and Starks. And of course, I'm a big fan of Starks, and I'm a big fan of Hobbs, and I'm a big fan of Team Taz. Powerful Powerhouse Hobbs is just too big, too strong, and that match did not last very long. So it seems like everything is fine between those guys within Team Taz. Moving on, you had again 2, as far as we know. Now again, I heard the rumors that Layla Hirsch was signed months ago, but they just announced it. Maybe Danny Limelight is signed. We just don't know it, but it's one of those matches where, as far as we know, or as far as what's been announced, they have not been put together, or they had not been put in a All Elite graphic, either one of these wrestlers. So it's a matchup between 2 wrestlers that have not been announced as All Elite, Daniel Limelight and Baron Black, who I wasn't impressed with Baron Black last week, and it wasn't that I wasn't impressed, it was I didn't see enough of him. I thought his tag team partner showcased himself a little more last week. But this time he actually did show me a little bit more. It was still a short match. It was almost 5 minutes. And of course, Danny Limelight is very good. He's on New Japan Strong. He's all over the independent scene. So I think we may see him getting signed one of these days. Is that really it? Did I already cover 7 matches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, I did. Now we're up to our triple main event. That's right, triple main event. It was Orange Cassidy in the first one versus Ryan Nemeth, however you want to say it. Just please don't put Nemeth on the microphone again. He's one of those guys that just should have not ever opened his mouth, and now my opinion of him is forever scarred. And same with Beth, my host, who, by the way, again, is at Enigma Beth. And again, I haven't even said my Twitter handle this time, but it's at Interview Prince. So both of us do a Dynamite review. She does a Dark Dive review of Dark tomorrow. This is my elevation evaluation. Sorry for keeping repeating myself. Orange Cassidy, man, I love it. I didn't get it at first. I'm going to be honest with you. I totally didn't get it at first. And just like Nemeth said in his promo, you know, he stated what a lot of fans state, and that is that Orange Cassidy, as wildly popular as he is, you know, selling out T-shirt after T-shirt after T-shirt. No, they don't sell out at Pro Wrestling Tees, but you know what I mean. Top seller every single week, no matter how old the shirt is. He's still in the top selling list of all his shirts. But there's still haters out there and for how he is, and he puts his hands in his pockets and stuff like that. And that's something that Ryan Nemeth did state. But this match was about 7 minutes long. We got to see goods from both of the wrestlers, again, showcase themselves. And Orange Cassidy did Orange Cassidy things. And I will love it till the day I never see Orange Cassidy in a ring again. I'm a big fan of him. He's one of the 3 guys I could probably think of that I wasn't a fan of when All Elite Wrestling started. But I completely changed my mind. It started with that match with Pac. The Revolution match, I believe it was last year. So now it's been over a year. I've been a big Orange Cassidy fan. But again, he did his thing. He did what he always does in the matches, and it never gets old. And you just see every single time that he is not a bad wrestler. He may have his gimmick. He may have the things he does. He may have his hands in his pockets, but he can actually go. He can actually wrestle. So it was another good match. Orange Cassidy with the victory there. Moving on. I was going to say I didn't see much of this match, but I did actually. It was another 7-minute match with Ethan Page and 5. If I'm going to give a Wrestler of the Week on AEW Elevation, it's going to be, I'm going to tell you right now. I know I usually do it at the end of shows, but I'm going to tell you right now. It's 5. It's 5. How often do we forget how good these wrestlers are that are in the Dark Order? Because, you know, we don't see singles matches out of each one of them individually very often. We saw Preston Vance 10 not too long ago. Do really good. We've seen Reynolds and Silver. We know what they can do. We know what Stu Grayson and Evil Uno can do. And then so you think of 5, and then he's the one that everyone makes fun of, and he's the one that everybody, you know, rags on in the BT segments and tells him to shut up. And, you know, like Ethan Page said, or somebody said, you know, it doesn't seem like people really care for him. So we forget about 5. But then he showed us why he's actually just like everybody else in Dark Order. Heck, even Colt Cabana can put on some good matches. But I'd say 5 is even better than Colt Cabana. But 5 put on a clinic there. He did really well. He showed us again that he can actually really wrestle, and he's very athletic, extremely athletic. Did a very good job. But, of course, in the end, the egomaniac Ethan Page got the victory, as we all knew probably was going to happen. But here, the strength of Ethan Page is what we saw afterwards. It was a short promo. Some people may say it wasn't that great, but I thought it was really good. Because in the North, we all knew that that was an amazing tag team in Impact. It was with Josh Alexander. But if we had to give the slight edge to somebody on who was a better wrestler, we'd give it to Josh Alexander. Hands down. I mean, that's to me. We'd give it to Josh Alexander. But the bread and butter of Ethan Page, some people can get by in wrestling, period. Can get by with just promo ability. Well, he has promo ability, and we saw that at the end of the match. But not only that, he can wrestle. He may not be a top-tier wrestler in your eyes or in many people's eyes, but he is a good wrestler, a very good wrestler. So him in that match, again, 5 may have showcased himself. 5 may have been the one to shine a little brighter for me in that match, but Ethan Page held his own, and at the end, he got to show his bread and butter, why he's so good. In the end, guys, I want to say that this main event, this is 2 main events in a row on Elevation Evaluation. Oh, by the way, get it? Mountains in the background, elevation. I think I'm clever with my videos every single week. I actually sit and think about it. Anyway, but again, this is 2 wrestlers, Ryo Mizunami and Layla Hirsch. So I wanted to say the first 2 main events of Elevation, the first 2 main events have been female matches. And not only that, but these have been 4 females, Maki Ito, Riho, and Layla, who have wrestled for an extended period of time in Japan. I think that's awesome. Again, the more eyes we can get on Japanese wrestling, the better. And we saw how good Riho was, but we forget that Layla Hirsch was actually in Stardom for a long time. When I started watching Stardom, she was over there killing it during the pandemic and everything. She was over there. So Layla Hirsch, recently All Elite. Man, I was rooting for her hard in this match. I love Riho. I love her charisma, who some people, blows my mind that they say that, you know, the AEW Joshis don't have as much personality. What are they watching? Riho has very good charisma, but Layla Hirsch, I was really rooting for her. She looked really good. I loved how her wrestling gear had Japanese writing on it. It was awesome. Red and white looked really good. Beth, it was close. It was close to orange and white, which is, you know, hopefully what we see someday with Team Taz and Layla Hirsch, as Beth calls Lady Taz. But in the longest match of the night, just 1 minute longer than the other 2 matches that were 7 minutes. It was about 8 minutes long. But Riho did get the win. I was a little sad. I'm going to be honest with you. I like I said, I like Riho, but I was a little sad. Layla did so good in that match. But so did Riho. But I thought, you know, you're recently All Elite. You just became All Elite. You could have beaten the woman who won the tournament to face Shida at the pay-per-view. It would have been great to see Layla Hirsch win that main event. But she didn't. But again, who's complaining? Another solid women's match to end the show for the second week in a row. That is your Elevation Evaluation from Raelynn. It went a little longer than 15 minutes this time, only because I talked a lot about Brooke HAVOK and her T-shirt, which again I'll talk about later in the week. I'll put another video out. But again, she put out this shirt. Please go buy it. I'm actually going to do a T-shirt contest, and that's what my video will be for this shirt. And then so I can give $25 more to the charity and support Brooke HAVOK, who's a very good wrestler who's recently just got injured. And just think about it. I bought the shirt originally. I bought this shirt right after she got injured because I didn't want her to forget that our fans, you know, the fans still love her. So, Brooke, I bought this shirt because I was a fan of yours and you got hurt, and I didn't want you to think that us fans are going to forget about you while you're hurt. But then you sent out that tweet today, and that is just icing on the cake, and it just made me want to support that charity even more. Knowing people in my life who've committed suicide, I've been suicidal before. It's easier for me to talk about now because I'm so far beyond that. I'm 15 years beyond my last suicide attempt, but I've tried it twice, and I'm very glad I didn't succeed. My life the last 15 years has been amazing. So, again, it's a very, it's a tragedy. It is a tragedy, anyone who commits suicide, but it is something that's very near and dear to me as a veteran as well, knowing how many veterans commit suicide when we come back from overseas, and I get how depressing that is. So suicide awareness, mental health awareness is very important to me. Please enter the contest when I put out the details for it later in the week, or if you don't want to enter the contest and you just want to buy it on your own, please go to Brooke HAVOK's page and you can click on the link there. It takes you to Pro Wrestling Tees, and you can buy this amazing shirt. But that's it. Don't want to bore you to death. It's almost 20 minutes this time. Actually, it did go over 20 minutes. But I'm going to leave you with my music. And again, I can't wait to watch wrestling on Monday again next week. It's been so great to watch wrestling on Monday again. Just trying to get my song back up. And you guys, hope you have a good night. Apparently I can't figure it out today, guys.